Okay, real talk. Have you ever been sitting with a group of native English speakers and suddenly you just freeze? Like your brain just stops working?
Oh, Jane, yes, 100%. I remember the first time I was in a coffee shop in Mumbai. I had been studying English for months, right? I felt pretty confident. And then I sat down with some locals and I could not follow anything they were saying at all.
That is such a relatable story. And I think so many of our listeners at English Talking Today know exactly that feeling. You study, and then real life just hits you like bam.
Exactly. It is like you understand English in a classroom or maybe in a textbook, but the moment real people start talking fast, everything just disappears from your brain.
Right. And that is actually what we are talking about today. How to understand fast spoken English. Because this is something that so many learners struggle with. And honestly, it is one of the most common questions we get from you, our listeners.
Yes, and we want to be honest with you today. There is no magic shortcut, but there are real practical strategies that will help you, and we are going to walk through them together.
Okay, so David, let's start with the first big one. And this is something that a lot of beginners do not realize. They only listen to scripted English. You know, like language lesson videos or carefully recorded audio. And that content is great for beginners, but
it is not how people actually talk.
Exactly. Scripted. That word means content that is planned and written before it is said, like a movie script or a prepared speech. And the problem is, real conversations are unscripted. Nobody is reading from a paper when they talk to their friends.
Right. In a real conversation, people use short forms. They skip words. They change direction in the middle of a sentence. For example, instead of saying, "Excuse me, could you please tell me where the bathroom is?" a native speaker might just say, "Hey, where's the bathroom?"
Yes. And if you only know the long formal version, the short version sounds like a totally different language.
So what can you do? Start listening to unscripted content. Things like podcasts, like this one, or casual YouTube videos, vlogs, or even reality TV shows. The key word there is unscripted, content where people are just talking naturally without a prepared script.
And yes, at first it is going to feel hard. It is going to feel a little bit like listening to noise, but your ear, your listening ability will adapt. That word adapt means to slowly change and get comfortable with something new.
I remember the first time I tried listening to a travel vlog where two friends were just chatting while walking around a city. I maybe understood 30% of it.
Only 30?
Maybe 25, honestly. But I kept listening. I watched more videos. And slowly, my brain started catching the patterns, the rhythm of how people speak. And that rhythm, that natural flow, is something you can train yourself to hear.
Which brings us to the next strategy, and this one is really fun. It's called anticipation. Anticipation means predicting or expecting what is going to come next. And native speakers do this all the time without even thinking about it.
Right. When someone says, "I'm so hungry I could eat," your brain already knows what's coming, right? Something like a horse or everything in the fridge.
Exactly. You do not need to hear every single word to understand the meaning. You use the context, the situation, and what has already been said to predict what comes next.
And here is a little game you can play to practice this. When you are watching a video or listening to a podcast, pause it after every sentence. Then try to guess what the speaker will say next. At first, you will probably be wrong most of the time.
But that is okay. That is how you learn. You are training your brain to think ahead. And after some practice, you will be surprised how often you guess correctly. Your brain becomes like a prediction machine.
And it is not just useful for listening. When you understand how conversations flow, you also start to know how to respond faster. Conversations start to feel less like hard work and more like a dance.
Oh, I love that. A dance. Yes. And speaking of how things flow, David, can we talk about linking? Because this is a huge one.
Yes, okay, so linking. This is when native speakers connect words together so they sound like one long word instead of separate words. For example, instead of saying, "Did you eat?" very clearly and slowly, they might say, "Did eat?" all together very fast.
And if you are used to hearing every word clearly and separately, linking sounds completely confusing. It's like the words are hiding.
Right. Another example. I want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Give me becomes gimme. These are called reductions, shortened forms of words or phrases that native speakers use in fast speech.
Reductions. That word means making something smaller or shorter. In English, sound reductions happen all the time in everyday speech. They make talking faster and more natural for native speakers.
And the best way to get used to reductions is to mimic them. Mimic. That means to copy or imitate someone. Try saying wanna instead of want to. Try saying gonna instead of going to. It might feel a little strange at first.
It definitely feels strange. I remember the first time someone told me to say gonna, and I felt like I was being incorrect or lazy, but actually it is just natural English.
Exactly. It is not lazy. It is just how the language actually sounds. And when you practice these reductions yourself, your ear becomes much better at catching them when other people say them.
And then there are filler words. Fillers. These are small sounds or words that people use to fill pauses while they think. Things like, I mean, like, or kind of. Native speakers use these all the time.
Yes. And if you're not used to them, they can be confusing. You hear and you think, wait, is that a word I do not know? But no, it is just the speaker thinking. It means nothing. You can usually just ignore filler words and focus on the content around them.
Okay, so we have talked about unscripted content, anticipation, linking, reductions, and fillers. David, what is the next big strategy?
This one is about something we call incomplete sentences. In textbooks, English sentences are always complete and perfectly formed. But in real life, people leave sentences unfinished. They change direction, they jump from one idea to another.
Yes. For example, in a textbook you might read, "I will attend the meeting tomorrow because it is important for the team." But a real person might say, "Yeah, so the meeting tomorrow, I'll be there. We need to, talk about things."
Exactly. And the meaning is the same. The information is the same, but the form is completely different.
So the strategy here is to not wait for a perfect, complete sentence. Instead, focus on the key words, the most important words, and the speaker's tone. Their voice, their expression, the situation, these all help you understand meaning even when the grammar is not perfect.
And this takes practice. But the more you listen to real conversations, the better you get at finding the important information even in messy, unfinished sentences.
Messy. That word means not clean or not organized. And honestly, most real conversations are a little messy, and that is completely okay.
Absolutely. And speaking of understanding meaning, Jane, I think we have to talk about culture, because so much of English is connected to culture. And if you do not understand the culture, some things will just not make sense.
Oh yes, this is so important. Think about phrases like, "it's a piece of cake." Now, if you hear that for the first time, you might think, oh, someone is talking about dessert? But no, a piece of cake means something is very easy.
Or break the ice. If you do not know this expression, you might imagine someone breaking actual ice. But no, it just means to start a conversation or make people feel comfortable in a social situation.
These are called idioms, phrases where the meaning is different from the literal words. Literal. That word means exactly what the words say, word by word. But idioms are not literal. You have to learn the meaning separately.
And beyond idioms, there is also humor. Native speakers often make jokes connected to their culture, references to movies, sports, popular songs, or things from their childhood. And if you did not grow up with those references, the joke just lands flat. You do not get it.
So the strategy is to build what we like to call a cultural bank. Cultural bank. Think of it like a collection of cultural knowledge you save over time. You do this by watching English language shows, reading articles about English-speaking cultures, following social media in English, even looking at memes.
Yes, memes are actually great for learning cultural English. They are short, funny, and very cultural. And the more you expose yourself to these things, expose means to allow yourself to experience something, the more natural English culture will feel to you.
And if you hear something you do not understand, an idiom, a cultural reference, a joke, do not be afraid to ask. Most people are very happy to explain. Asking questions is not embarrassing. It's actually a really smart thing to do.
Totally agree. Okay, so let's also talk quickly about accents, because English sounds very different depending on where the speaker is from. An American accent, a British accent, an Australian accent, they all sound quite different.
Yes, and I think a lot of learners get used to one accent, maybe American English because of movies and TV. And then they hear a British or Australian speaker and they feel completely lost again.
I had that experience with Australian English. The first time I heard someone say, "I reckon we should have a biscuit," I was like, what? What is a reckon and a biscuit? But in Australian English, reckon just means think, and a biscuit is a cookie.
Yes, the vocabulary is different, the pronunciation is different. So the strategy is try to listen to a variety of accents, not just one. The more accents you hear, the more flexible your listening becomes. And flexibility, that ability to adjust to different situations, is a really important skill in English.
It is. It is like training your ear to be more open, more adaptable. Adaptable means able to change and adjust to new situations easily.
Okay, David, I think we should also mention one more thing before we wrap up, and that is patience. Patience, the ability to wait calmly without getting frustrated.
This is so important. Learning to understand fast English is not something that happens in a week or even a month. It is a gradual process. Gradual means happening slowly, little by little over time.
And you will have good days and hard days. Some days you will listen to something and understand almost everything and feel amazing. And other days you will feel like you have not learned anything at all.
And that is completely normal. That is how language learning works. The important thing is to keep going, keep listening, keep practicing. Every single listening session is making your brain stronger, even when it does not feel like it.
Yes, and remember, you are not trying to understand every single word. You are training yourself to understand the meaning, the feeling, the flow. That is what real communication is about.
So let's quickly review what we talked about today. First, listen to unscripted content like podcasts and vlogs to hear real, natural English.
Second, practice anticipation. Predict what comes next using context and patterns.
Third, learn about linking and reductions. Words connect together in fast speech, and shortened forms like gonna and wanna are completely normal.
Fourth, do not worry about incomplete sentences. Focus on keywords and tone to understand the meaning.
Fifth, build your cultural bank. Learn idioms, understand cultural references, and ask questions when you are confused.
And sixth, listen to many different accents to make your listening more flexible and adaptable.
You have got this. Seriously. Every listener of English Talking Today is making progress, even if you cannot always see it.
And that is our message for today. Understanding fast spoken English takes time and practice, but with the right strategies, unscripted listening, anticipation, learning reductions, focusing on meaning, and building cultural knowledge, you will get there. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small step forward.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We really appreciate every single one of you. If this episode helped you, please subscribe to English Talking Today. It really means the world to us and helps us reach more learners like you.
And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a like and share it with a friend who is also learning English. We will be back very soon with another episode full of practical tips and real English practice.
Until then, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep going. You are doing better than you think.
See you next time on English Talking Today. Take care, everyone.